In the 50s, the Cooper family moved into an old house in Texas. Father Cooper wanted to hold on this moment by making a photo of his loved ones. But days later, when the photo was developed, they made a shocking discovery which led them to move out again. This body wasn't there when the shot was taken. It seems like it was just falling from the ceiling, but at no time it was visible to the family. This or something similar is told about this shot. Since it originated in the internet, it is possible to track it back. We did some investigation to see if there is a proof, and actually, this story is made up. So the earliest date when the story was told was on October 14th, 2013. But still, it's not possible to say that this is the oldest appearance of it. Back then, it was only told that at the moment of the shot, a body just fell from the ceiling. So no ghosts in this one. Maybe it was in 2014 when the latest version of this tale has been told for the first time. So or so, this is all made up. But still, even if the background story isn't real, this image does exist. And there are many very creepy things about it. If you enhance brightness and contrast, the face seems to be blank or is looking away from the camera. Depending on exactly where the body is hanging, it even seems like the head is twisted and is staring at the kids and the woman. But before we go on further, let's take a more precise look at this image. The photographer seemed to make a picture of the family and the table with a focus in between of them. Many people believe that this is a sign of a montage. We will come back to this later. However, from an artistic point of view, this image is pretty interesting. For example, when it comes to the golden ratio. The golden ratio, which can be defined by mathematics, is something like a natural constant, a natural algorithm, or even like a natural beauty standard, which comes up in many forms in nature. It is also used in architecture and art for thousands of years because somehow it's also appealing to us, humans. Well, if we take a look at the lines which represent the golden ratio in here, we will notice that there is hardly anything on these lines. But the focus here is in fact on the woman and the kid in the middle. But why should the father focus only on them? This explanation is quite simple. He didn't. Okay, for now, let's just assume this picture is really from the 50s. The photographer here would use a camera which takes pictures or negatives in an aspect ratio of 3:2. But in this case, we have a square, an aspect ratio of 1:1, which either tells us this picture isn't from the 50s or that it was cropped. Because of our assumption, we conclude on the latter. Some people would say that this can't be because of the vignette in the center. But it also appears on mechanical analog cameras when the objective is used correctly. Remember, we still assume that the picture was taken in the 50s. Is this really a case of vignetting? In that case, there would be a circle shape. But if you look at the table, it's not. It's irregular and depends on objects in front of the camera, which leads us to the conclusion that this is in fact the photo flash. You can see the flash itself reflecting in the objects on the table and in the chairs, but we will come back to that later. To underline the fact that we see a photo flash rather than vignetting, we determined the center of the picture. Here are the irregularities. This transition is too soft. There would be a transition like in any other corner which are more dull. This part is too dark. If there would be vignetting, it would make the corners even darker. And this, in case of vignetting, is too bright compared with the other side. The second time we determined the center of the brightest spot and drew again a circle. And this is where it fits. The table has a soft transition and reflection while its center is about in between the family. Also, there is an overall brightness which fits on every side of the circle's edge. Now we have shown two important things. The picture was cropped and there is no manual vignetting. We tried to reconstruct the original picture. Remember what I said about the focus? Why did the father focus only on half of his family? Yes, I said he didn't. And here's why. These lines represent a golden ratio. The family fits perfectly the appealing proportions. Remember, the golden ratio is something like a natural beauty standard. We don't think that the father made this on purpose, but rather automatically. In those days, not everyone possessed a camera. This man sure was dedicated to his hobby, and who knows, maybe the original photographer was actually a professional. After a while, many photographers start to sense a good shot. So maybe this was the case here. Anyway, we don't believe that this is coincidence. The picture was taken in the 50s. Well, let's say the original picture, because there is still one thing that doesn't fit in. Yes, it's the body. Let's assume the body is physical. This means it behaves like any other object in this picture and also throws the same kind of shadows. A short glance at the candles brings more clarity. Because of how the shadow's top is under the candle's tip, the photo flash must be directly above the objective. And now look at the shadow of the body. It's throwing in a different direction, and this is not possible if the body was actually there. What if the body isn't physical? What if it's a ghost? Well, on our investigation, the oldest appearance of the picture was September 2009, posted on an internet forum. It was a thread about creepy pictures, and the OP didn't say much about it, but posted it along with a few other pictures. We traced it back a bit, and in the same thread he made another post with pictures with a hint where he got them. An image board. It's very likely that this picture was originally posted on one of them. It's also very likely that this is just a piece of horror art. But who is the author? This image got viral a few years ago, but still no sign of him. Maybe he doesn't even exist anymore, which is also somehow creepy. In the end, it's not possible to tell for sure if this is a montage or an authentic photo. The body isn't physical, the original photography exists somewhere, and the story itself is made up. So much to our investigation. Maybe you found something out? Tell us what you think. Thanks for watching.